Hello, Orange Joe here. Thank you for checking out this video showcase for the quad-core Intel i5 gaming system that I currently have listed on my eBay store. Lightly used for approximately 2 months. Okay, first we're going to quick run down the main specs. First, we have the Intel quad-core i5-3470. This runs at 3.2 gig frequency across all 4 cores and a 3.5 gigahertz boost for those harder loads. We can see the full stickers there. i5-3470. We have CPU. And for the motherboard, we have the ASUS Z77 VLK series. And this is a Z77 series board with a socket LGA 1155 as well. Same with the CPU. Very nice motherboard. ASUS is very good with motherboards. We have a small picture on the back there. There is your motherboard. For graphics, we have the EVGA brand of the NVIDIA GeForce GTX Series 660. This is the FTW or For the Win edition Signature 2 with the 2 gigabytes of the GDDR5 RAM. This also features the ACX cooler with the dual fans. Not your single fan, you have the dual fans. So this is much better than your normal GTX 660. Then on to RAM. The stick is obviously in the machine, but this is the packaging. We have a single 1 stick of red HyperX that runs at 1600 megahertz frequency, GDR3 RAM, Kingston HyperX, $8 gigabytes, DDR3 1600 megahertz, 240 pin, 1 single stick of 8 gig RAM. We have the Ultra brand, Ultra Professional LSP or Lifetime Series Professional 550 watt power supply with a lifetime warranty. All of your standard connectors are there, and that's pretty much all there is to say about the power supply. Very good power supply. It also has a the ultra silent mode, which basically is that the fan will only run when it is absolutely necessary. It saves power. Great power supply. Moving on, we have this is a very nice model, the Gigabyte GCW B300D wireless PCIe card. Now, not only is this a wireless card, this is also a Bluetooth 4.0 adapter. So you have both a dual band Wi-Fi, IEEE 802.11 ABGNN plus your Bluetooth 4.0. And Bluetooth 4.0 is backwards compatible to all other Bluetooth frequencies, 3, 2, 1, and so on, obviously all of them. And of course 300 megabits per second across your dual band Wi-Fi, which is very fast. It's very high speeds, so this is a very nice model to have for your system. I do not have the original packaging for that, but it does feature a 4+1 USB 2.0 PCI card. 4+1 meaning There is 4 ports on the back of the system and 1 internal USB connection slot. Again, also do not have the packaging, but there is a LiteOn i5-3470 DVD CD writer. Anyone who knows anything about disk drives knows that LiteOn, LITE-ON, LiteOn makes one of the greatest series of DVD drives there are, and this particular model really shines. Absolutely worth the price. So there we go. All of the boxes will be included in the auction. They will be flattened and stored and packed in the original box that the case came in. Now, I did not mention the case yet. The case is a ThermalTake Versa 2. The ThermalTake Versa 2. So that will ship in its original ThermalTake Versa 2 box. There we go. That is the original box that the ThermalTake Versa 2 came in. There's a artist rendering of it there. And it also does have the original styrofoam inserts. So the packaging, or I should say the system, the gaming rig, will ship with its original styrofoam inserts to ensure the item's security, safety during transit to you. Now we're going to go over the exterior of the machine quickly. The front side, we have the LiteOn drive, very nice LiteOn drive. Going from left to right, we have our reset button, the hard drive indicator light, USB 3.0 connector, a microphone jack, headphone jack, USB 2.0, the power indicator light, and of course your power button. We have 2 empty 5¼ inch bays for expansion. The 3½ inch bay is also vacant for use. And that pretty much goes over the front. We have our ThermalTake logo right here as well. We'll move on to the right hand side. Not much to see here. We just basically have the EVGA branded enthusiast built that came with the EVGA 660 that is currently in the machine. On to the back, we have, let's start with the motherboard. We'll go over the onboard stuff here. At the very top, we have 2 USB 2.0 connections, a combination PS2 port for both keyboard and mouse if you were to so choose to use those, a display port, a HDMI port. This would be your optical audio. We have a DVI-D connection, that's the DVI digital connection, VGA, 4 USB 3.0, a onboard Ethernet, your whole standard array of audio jacks. Then we'll move over here. This is a high-performance 120mm Cooler Master fan. And then going down to the PCI cards, we have our Gigabyte dual Wi-Fi and Bluetooth adapter. That would be a dual band 300 megabits per second Wi-Fi connection, and your Bluetooth 4.0, both in the same. The antenna with the blue tip indicates your Bluetooth, and your all black antenna indicates your Wi-Fi. Going down, the next 2 slots are occupied by the EVGA GTX 660, and also included are dust covers. If for the most commonly used ports, I'm not including one for the DVI connection. Basically, what you would want to do is if you were to purchase this machine and you want to go for the HDMI connection, you will pull those out with a pair of tweezers and pop that into the corresponding port on your onboard connection just to keep some extra dust out. Your next one down would be the controller for the ribbon lighting. Yes, ribbon lighting. There is blue ribbon lighting in this machine, on-off toggle switch, and it has 3 varying degrees of intensity. It is not extremely bright. It is more or less for when the system is in darkness. The next one down, empty bay at the bottom. In between the 2 empty bays, you have the 4+1 USB 2.0 card. 4+1 meaning there's 4 on the back and there's 1 inside the machine on the board. And then moving further down, obviously we have our Ultra 550 watt power supply, as well as we have two water cooling tube ports in case you would like to water cool at some point. Moving on to the left side, we have a bunch of different decals. They can be removed if so choosed, or they could be left on if you would like. On the side here we do have a grill panel which can accommodate up to 2 140 millimeter fans. Right now we have 3 80 millimeter fans with corresponding chrome grills to give it that extra pop. And then we're going to go ahead and tip it. Get a view of the top. On the top here, we have 2 more matching high-performance cooler master fans. Again, another decal, half-life too. And then these are specially made. Not sure if we can see that. Let's see if we can see that. There we go. These are specially made metal stickers to correspond with the equipment inside the machine. They all are relevant except for this one. This one says Windows 8. We have Intel Core i5, the same as the official case badge, but this is printed in a very thin sheet of aluminum. The official powered by EVGA logo sticker. A custom-made NVIDIA green and black metal sticker. And a Intel logo metal sticker. The Windows 8 one does not apply. Currently, we have Windows 7 Ultimate installed on the machine. Let's go ahead and position this. And just as a disclaimer, this cart is not included in the listing. Okay, now that we've gone over the exterior of the machine, let's dive a little deeper. We're going to take off all the panels and just have a general look of what's inside. Alright, now what we've done here is we've added 4 easy to remove blue, matching blue thumb screws. So what we're going to do is remove the thumb screws. And then we're going to show you this side first. Now, they slide back and come right off. So there's your first panel. Nothing to it. That's it. So we're going to stick that out of the way. And as you can see, very minimalistic rear. You can see the rear of the motherboard here. Not a lot of wires running through. Very clean looking. So not much to go over there. We're going to move to the front, and on the bottom of the front there is latches, or not latches, but there is a space that you can grab, and the whole front pops right off. Give me 1 second. There we go. Whole thing pops off with these guys here. No worry about damaging them. They pop right off, snap right on. Now on the bottom here we have a high-performance cooler fan. It is orange, but it is not necessarily in sight. We do have a screen in front of it, a filter screen in front of it. Here we can see our 500 gig hard drive, our LiteOn drive, and lots of room for airflow and room for expansion. And we're going to move on to the main side that everyone wants to see. Same thing, slides back, comes off. Now, because we have the 3 fans here, this panel is connected. You can see, try to flip this around. The 3 fans are connected. These are intake fans, Silverstone model FN81 80mm fans. Now we have those connected. They're each 3-pin fans. Now that's connected to a fan extender board. So you can add more and more fans if you choose. Only 3 of them are used with this right here. You still have 3 vacant ones to use. Now inside, generally, we can see our Intel processor with the stock CPU or the stock heatsink, our EVGA GeForce GTX 660 LiteOn drive. Here is our single 8 gig stick of our Kingston Red HyperX 1600 megahertz RAM. Right above the graphics card, this is our dual Bluetooth Wi-Fi card. Underneath here is our 4+1 USB 2.0 card, and as you can see right there, there is our internal connection, USB 2.0 connection. Our Ultra 550 watt power supply, and you can see behind it, we'll have a better view of it in a second, of the motherboard itself. So there is our clean view of everything open, and as you can see here in the bottom, we have some cable management here. Everything, all the excess power cables are tied down. This is not a modular power supply. All the cables are permanently fixed to the power supply, so your extra cables are securely fastened to the bottom of the case to keep airflow at its max. Now, as I'm talking about airflow, let me go over real quick. We have our intake here, our 3 fans that are on the side, the 3 80mm fans, they are also intake fans. These 2 on the top, these 2 120mm Cooler Master high performance fans are exhaust, as well as the same high performance Cooler Master 120mm fan is also an exhaust. So you have intake in the front, intake on the left hand side, and exhaust out the top and rear of the machine. So we have good airflow. We also have very good idling temperatures, even with the stock heatsink. So, alright, now that we've seen what's going on inside, for the most part, basically, we will be right back. We're going to change some camera angles, and we're going to dive deeper into the system to show you exactly what's going on. Be right back. Okay, so here's the main system. We're going to be running down most of the parts, starting with the Intel i5-3470. It's running on its stock heatsink cooler. It idles at very cool temperatures. The heatsink was installed using the Sigmatech freezing point thermal compound. Now, I have found this to be one of the best, if not the best, thermal compounds money can buy. So this was used, and that probably helps with its idling temperatures. Now, I'm going to remove some parts so we can get a better view of some things. Let's see the RAM here. Now, here we have a single Kingston Red HyperX 8 gig RAM stick running at 1600 megahertz. Features a cool red aluminum heatsink. You can see here, it's probably going to be hard to see, but this is an 8 gig stick. I'm not even going to try to get that in focus because it's way too small. But Red HyperX, one single stick of 8 gigs. Now I'm going to put this back in here. This, like I said, this board does support up to 32 gigs of RAM. That would be 8 gigs per slot, 4 times 8. So I've already got you on your way to having your max RAM. Now, this here is the Gigabyte GCWB300D PCIe card. It features both the Bluetooth 4.0 and the dual band Wi-Fi up to 300 megabits per second over your standard IEEE 802.11 ABG NN. And it also has an internal USB right here. It's facing toward the front of the system because, why not? Now I'm going to remove the 8-pin connector for the motherboard. I'm going to move the 6-pin connector for the graphics card. Get these out of the way. I'm going to go down here with the little snap. And now also I've included all thumb screws for all the PCI slots. So easy to remove these guys as well. I'm going to remove the graphics card to give you a better view of the graphics card itself. Let's get that out of there. Alright, here we go. We have the EVGA GeForce GTX 660. Now, there is no dust on here. You can see it's nice and cleaned out. The aluminum heatsink behind the fans, nice and clean. Fans are nice and clean. It's nice and clean. It's barely been used at all. Very powerful system. It dropped one of my... Oops, I see what I dropped. The SLI connector. Now, I will find that in a moment. I'm not going to go digging for it now. I'm going to pop this guy back in. Oh, here it is. And yeah, it does support up to 2 of the same graphics cards for SLI support, and the original EVGA ribbon cable SLI bridge will be included in the pack, as well as all of the documentation, all the booklets and promotional inserts that came along with the products. Normally it's much easier to get these on. I'm wearing gloves. Let's see. There we go. Now, right underneath that, this is our controller for our blue ribbon lighting. Now, we can see the ribbon lighting. It goes up around this first fan, up to the front, loops around the front here, down to the bottom, and up to the top, and stops. Now, so we have a blue light that emanates toward the center of the system at will. There's a button at the back I had previously showed you with its varying degrees of intensity. Now, going further down, we have our 4+1 USB card slot. I showed you the 4 USB 2.0s in the back. There again is the USB 2.0 internal header, and just look at this motherboard. This is a beautiful motherboard. Very nice chipset coolers, nice black and blue color scheme. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug back in our 8-pin motherboard power connector. Get that back in there. Come on now. I know you want it. get in your home. You want to go to your home. Alright, and the 6-pin connector back to the graphics card. And there we go. And here we go, we have our 500 gig power supply. And I'm not sure if you can see this down here. This is powered by a single Molex connector. We have input power from Molex Power. And we have 6 3-pin fan headers for 6 fans. 3 of them are being used for the side panel. The other 3 are free to use at will. And as I said before, I'm going to pick this up and show you so you can get a better view of it. But we have 3 high-performance cooler master fans. You can see that they match with the cool holographic stickers on there. And I'm not going to tip it fully on its back, but you can see that's another matching fan there. And as well as I'm at it, here's the bottom. It does have standard plastic feet. And again, we have more room for fans on the bottom. Supports 2 120mm fans. That's what the spec sheet says. But I do not know how you would be able to put a fan here unless you forego a power supply altogether. But either way, you can put another 120mm fan right here if you so choose. And you have the connection right here, right there, right next to each other. Very easy to do in case you would like to do that. And that pretty much goes over the internals, everything that is included inside the system, exactly what spec-wise is in here, and what you will be receiving. Alright, stay tuned. We have a little bit more to show you, and we'll be right back. Okay, so as it sits right now, it is a fresh, genuine copy of Windows 7 Ultimate, and has the following programs installed for the potential buyer. It has Microsoft Office Pro Plus. It has all 9 of the Microsoft Office programs. That's a almost $300 value. It has Steam installed. Avast 2015 free. I have foregone Internet Explorer, and Google Chrome is now installed, and then all the appropriate drivers and utilities for the equipment that is in the system. Now let's go a little deeper here. Alright, now right here is the GTX 660. Now what we're going to do, we're going to hook it up and boot it, and we're going to see it in action. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the HDMI connection, and this is what you're going to want to do when you purchase this product. No matter what type of connection you're going to be using, this is what you're going to want to do. And if you're going to use the DVI I connection, then you won't need to do much of anything. You just plug it in and ready to go. But say you want to use the DVI-D, the DisplayPort, or the HDMI. I'm going to use HDMI, so this is what you're going to want to do. I'm going to be using a pair of small curved needle nose pliers. Any pair of tweezers will also work. So what we're going to do, you grab it by that little tab in the middle, pull it straight out, HDMI dust cover. And then what you want to do is take this and stick it in the appropriate hole on your onboard connection, just for a little extra dust protection, and so you don't lose it. So now we have a free HDMI port that we can now use. Now I'm going to spin it around, plug some stuff in, and we're going to watch it boot. Alright, I'm going to be leaving the system open to show you that all of the fans and everything do work, and that the lighting works. So what we have here, around the back, we have our 3-pin. This will be the power connector that you will receive with the system. It's a nice beefy cable. What I'm going to do, turn this a little bit, plug this guy in. Everyone knows how to plug in a computer, at least to someone who is a computer gamer. So I plugged in the power, plugged in my HDMI, as we can see. HDMI and the power. First, we're going to boot the system. I'm going to hit the power switch. You probably won't be able to see me hit the power switch, but I'm going to turn this here so you can see. And as you can see, the front plate is also off. I have that off to showcase the front fan as well. This is the power button. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. You can see the blue light for the power, the red light indicator for the hard drive. You can see ASUS pop up on the screen. I'm going to boot into the BIOS. And we also saw the green light flashing on the LiteOn drive. I'm going to spin this back to the side so we can see in here. Alright. As we can see, the heatsink, the CPU heatsink fan is spinning. That's going to be sucking air in. But we can see that right now the power supply unit fan is going, and that's because it's in BIOS mode. It doesn't know what it's going to be. It does not know what it's going to be doing because it's in BIOS. I could be changing settings, so it's going to be running at full speed right now. So we can see clearly that the machine is working. Now we're going to go ahead and zoom in on the screen. Alright, as we can see, we have a Intel, the i5-3470 at 3.2 gigs, 8192 megabytes of DDR3. That would be 8 gigabytes, one stick. We show a idling temperature right now of the CPU of 31 degrees Celsius, which is very nice. Motherboard 25 degrees Celsius, excellent. We're running at standard voltages. Fan speeds are at your quiet / energy savings option. As you can see in the mid left hand side, you have different types of power options if you want to go more performance, more toward the quiet, or more toward energy savings. And this is the simple BIOS utility, easy mode, as you can see in the top. Also, you can also note that today is Tuesday, February the 24th, 2015. It's just after 5 o'clock. What we're going to do now is we're going to boot into the advanced mode so we can show you the advanced mode. So we're going to go ahead and exit, go into the advanced mode, and here is the advanced mode. Now across the top, we have our main, our AI tweaker, advanced monitor, boot, and our toolkit. And this is for people who know a little more about BIOS information. Okay, right here are monitoring temperatures. Again, our CPU is idling at 32 degrees Celsius, which is very nice. Get a better view of that. You can see that the CPU temperature and the motherboard temperature are very nice, 32 and 25. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to exit the BIOS and we're going to boot into Windows 7. Now, what I said before, we have Windows 7 Ultimate already installed. If you plan on using this machine to game, to play video games, that sort of thing, you are going to want it as it is right now. And forego this screen, that's because I am exiting the BIOS. So here we go, we're going to start Windows, and as I said, it comes with Microsoft Office Pro Plus. That is 9 programs of Microsoft Office programs, including Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Publisher, Outlook. I can't even name them all. There is so many. And again, just like the Windows 7 copy, it is a genuine copy. There is no piracy, no illegal downloads here. This is all legit stuff. As we're waiting for this to boot, we can see our welcome screen. Sorry about the resolution. I am actually filming this on an iPhone, and the television I'm using right now is not full 1080p. it's the first time I've plugged in this keyboard and this mouse, so it's just recognizing the keyboard and mouse, automatically installing the drivers. We can hear that the sound is working. Alright, and I found all the drivers. Now what's great about the NVIDIA software is that I can open up the control panel. It's actually still booting a little bit. It's going to load Steam here in a moment. That's why it's being a little bit slow. But what size? Alright, now what we can do, I'm just going to resize this temporarily just so it fits on this particular screen. It's outputting at full 1080p, but unfortunately this television, this widescreen television, only does a maximum of 1824 by 1026. So I'm going to forcefully make the graphics card output that resolution so it fits to this screen perfectly. And again, that would work with any screen. So I would imagine you would be using a full 1080p screen, but just in case, you have options to change that. I decided to go with a nice Skyrim wallpaper, just throw up there, and as you can see down in the toolbar, we have already installed, we have Google Chrome, Steam, there's Microsoft Word, Excel, OneNote, Outlook, PowerPoint, and that is Microsoft Access. So that's just a few of some of the Microsoft Pro Plus tools. To continue to show the system, we're going to open up the start bar, computer, let's open up the properties. We have 8 gigs installed, and again there is the Intel quad-core i5-3470 at 3.2 gigs, 64-bit operating system. It does have a 5.9 Windows Experience Index, and that is solely due to the hard drive. If you follow this over, processor, RAM, graphics, gaming graphics, and hard drive, if you look over, it rates 7.5, 7.5, 7.9, 7.9, and then you're stuck with the lowest score. It's determined by the lowest subscore, 5.9, which is the hard drive, and that's because this is a standard 7200 RPM hard drive and not something like a solid state drive in a RAD setup that would give you a 7 or higher score on data transfer speeds within the system itself. So there is the index, the Windows Experience Index score. I'm going to also open up the device manager. Everything is fine. I already showed that the sound works and everything else works. Let me just pop open Word just to show you that this is a genuine copy. It's not going to say this is a trial or anything like that. This is a genuine copy. See how it popped right open? Real quick and easy. I just booted the system. I'll open up Excel, and bam, under a second, open. So there we go. And I'm going to connect to my personal Wi-Fi to show that the Wi-Fi works. So I'm going to connect to my Wi-Fi. There we go. Internet access. We're all good. So the Wi-Fi definitely works. The next thing I want to show you, I'm not going to show you every USB port, but I'll show you the front facing ones. Right here is a USB 2.0, and right here is a USB 3.0. I have a actually very old USB thumb drive that still works, but I'm going to pop it in to the first drive. This is the USB 2.0. Just gonna pop it in there, and we heard some sound going on, and as we can see on the screen, I actually named it. It works. So there's number one. That's the first one on the front, and I will do the same thing for the second one. So what we're going to do, we're going to pop that out. Again, sound works. Put the back in. There it is. Installing some drivers for a sec. And again, ready to view files. It works. Another thing I want to show that works, one of the last things will be the actual Bluetooth. Hit add device, and it's going to automatically search. And if this isn't proof enough, this is my other machine that it's actually registering that also has Bluetooth. I'm going to be using this guy right here. This is a miniature remote-sized Bluetooth keyboard with a touchpad. Very convenient. I love this guy, but Bluetooth. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it on. So here we go. I'm going to hold down the Bluetooth button and see how the blinking light, it's searching. There it is. Sorry for the blur. Let me focus this a little bit. Sorry, I'm doing this all one-handed by myself here. Here we go. Bluetooth, iPassport, Bluetooth keyboard. That's what it's searching for right now. I'm not going to connect it. I want to leave this as fresh as possible. So that's just to prove that that works. And then one other thing I want to show you before we're all done is an actual DVD. Now, what I said about the LiteOn drive, it's a very great drive. It's actually super speedy. I'm going to open it up, and it almost flies open. It's not like it's going to throw your DVD across the room, but it opens. There it is, nice and open. And as it sits, it comes with Windows 7 Ultimate. Like I said, fully genuine. If you would like to not have Windows 7 and choose to have Windows 8, an actual Windows 8 DVD will be included in its original OEM packaging. I do have the sticker that was here that will be included as well. I taped over the barcodes just in case. I do not know what they mean, but I taped over the barcodes. This is the OEM packaging for Windows 8 Pro, which is upgradable to in Windows 8.1 for free. So if you decide to go with Windows 8, you will get a actual Windows 8 disk. But for all intents and purposes, I'm going to use this to show that the LiteOn drive works. So I'm going to place it in the drive, close it up. And I'm not sure if you can hear it. I can hear it. It's not very loud, but disk drives tend to have a little bit of noise. I can hear it starting to spin already. And let's see. There we go. You can open and view the files. I'm sure you heard that. There we go. We can run back to the computer. There we go. Let's open up the properties on the disk drive. We have a 456 capacity gig hard drive, which is standard for a rated 500 gig hard drive. Use space is only 43 gigs, and that would be mainly because of the Microsoft Office. Also, Steam and the Avast free 2015. And then again, let's get out of here. We can see that the disk drive does work perfectly fine. And I'm going to go ahead and eject that. And there it is. Alright, basically this is everything that you're going to get in the eBay listing. You're going to get the full tower case with everything that was previously shown in it, fully functional. You're going to get your beefy 3-prong power cable. This is your replacement 5¼ inch bay cover that is currently occupied by the LiteOn disk drive. That is going to be included. You're going to get, as shown before, all the boxes from all the various equipment that is in the machine: the CPU, the wireless adapter, the power supply, the motherboard, the graphics card, and the RAM. You're also going to get the drivers that came with the various equipment. This right here would be the driver for the ASUS P8Z77V LK, the drivers and the utility tools. The EVGA graphics card driver. And the Gigabyte Wi-Fi/Bluetooth DVD driver as well. Also included is still factory sealed ASUS NVIDIA SLI ribbon bridge that's still sealed for you to use if you were to ever pick up another 660 or really any other SLI enabled graphics card. All the pamphlets and documentation that came with each individual piece of equipment. We have the i5 Intel i5 pamphlet, the ThermalTake fold out, the Gigabyte GC WB300D fold out pamphlet, full color, the EVGA pamphlet, quite thick. This is the original EVGA branded anti-static bag that the graphics card originally came in. The Ultra brand 550 watt power supply pamphlet, and the quite thick ASUS P8Z77Z LK user guide. All that is included in the listing. Also, just another thing, pretty much everything was saved when the PC was built. So this is the actual, sorry, my cat got in the way in the background there. This is the original cover that covers the LGA 1155 socket on the motherboard when no CPU is attached. So that is also included. And as I said previously, if you decide to forego Windows 7 and decide to go with Windows 8, Windows 8 Pro, an actual copy of the OEM software will be included, as well as the OEM packaging. There is temporary tape over the barcodes just to protect the legitimacy of this copy. That is upgradable to 8.1 Pro for free. So that is in case you want to have the Windows 8 operating system instead of the Windows 7 that was previously showcased. Alright, that's pretty much it. Everything that's included right there. Thank you very much for checking it out. Be sure to check out the links below. A link to the listing itself, a link to the PC part picker lineup that values this machine new well over $1,000, and compare it to how much I have it listed on eBay. Again, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.